Okay. Oh, here we go. Bam. That wasn't right? Hold on. Correct angle. Is it like that? No. Hold on. What if we rotate it so these are facing back and then go up? Like that. Right? Why is that not working? Okay, last time we've been doing the bottom back. Let's do the bottom forward, which would be like this. Right? What is it not like about my thing? See, I think this looks good, in my opinion. Because that was it backward, the pointed back. Let's try it pointed forward. Right? So forward. Like that? Has it stand? It stands on the small end. So I'd assume maybe the small end's towards us. So it's supposed to stand like that, I think. So should we be looking at it from the bottom? What if I just do like straight at the bottom? No. Is this really finicky for anybody else? What if we do like super big like that? I want, like, I've been doing it close. Let's do it just very, very, very far. Like super much. Super too much. Like that. Like that, that's pretty far. What if we just look it straight down? Just straight down. And we'll rotate it a little bit. We'll rotate it and just look straight down at it. Like that. Just straight down. No. About this angle. No. Because we did it from the top, we did it from the bottom. Like, in my opinion, that's what this is what it looks like. Right? It's not just me thinking that it's right. Like, that looks so close to it in my head. Yeah, at least I don't get any penalties. Be right back. I'll have to throw a boot at Edgeworth. Alright, hold on. Okay, team. Google, don't fail me. How to arrange face to look like blue badger. Bam. Or ask me at this one. Show me a picture, please. Picture. Okay, I have a picture. Hold on. I have a picture. Yeah. This wants the these two things on top. So I'm going to turn them this way. And it has this. It has it like this. With about this much showing, right? Yeah. We're doing that. I'm showing a picture. Okay. This is so silly. This is super finicky. I agree. Okay. Hold on, let me set this up. So I can just look at it the entire time. Here we go. Okay. Don't worry, we'll get it. Red light. Okay, this has it so I'm going to rotate it this way. Oh, gosh. Oh, come on. Come on. No. Okay, so that's somewhat okay. No. Dagnabbit. I'm trying to get it even. Okay, look. They're even. They're even. Okay. Rotate it straight down. Oh gosh, they're not quite even. Dagnabbit. How many we have? Like a bar and a half of this. So there's the bar and a half. That's kind of what I have here. Make sure it's centered. I can't. Like, okay, hold on. Let me try and even it out. Can I use the D-pad? I cannot. Can I use the mouse? This is actually harder. That's pretty close. It's about a bar and a half. Okay, this is closer, I think. Using Q and R? Okay. I think I hit E on accident. Oh my gosh. Like, you're looking at the same picture I am, right, Brick? Okay, wait. We're gonna start. HNBM to rotate. We are gonna rotate. What is H? H is up and down. Okay, that's very even. That's a fine. We'll go this way. That looks centered. H&N is up and down. Show a bit more at the top. Okay. Think like that. I think one more dash. Because when I'm looking at the bottom where the circle is, I don't see any more of it. It's like something like that. We beat the game! Oh, goodness. Is this a miracle or what? You have no idea. You have no idea, partner. Whew. No one can possibly deny that this jar's resemblance to the Blue Badger. No. Best 5 minutes ever spent. The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious Blue Badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this. Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, so one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So that Blue Badger thing was actually just a job. That doesn't change anything. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed. Very well then, please tell us. What's different now that we know the witness saw this jaw? I want to say the murderer. Because there's a name written on it. Let me take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright. Yes, well, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? Where? A location the jar is shown in the picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on a shelf in the office of Damon Gant. But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself. Yes, and it is these two facts that reveal what exactly transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Gant's office. Are you implying that the murderer moved the victim's body from Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's? Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright? Finally figured it out. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? That would have to have been the impact the man made when he knocked it into the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, let me draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit? A very large spear. A suit of armor holding a very sharp and dangerous-looking sword. Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall, wielding the King Prosecutor's trophy. Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes. There is another possibility of what actually transpired in that room. Another possibility. Of course, the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nonetheless. I don't know if I can go through with this. Mr. Wright, what's the matter? If events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Sky knocked away was actually Prosecutor Marshall, so Emma actually did kill him. And that's why Lana was like, you can never know. You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? No! Yeah, she's gonna faint. I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So it was the witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented. We've had that happen all the time. What are you saying? I'm sorry, Miss Sky, but given the circumstances, Joe Dog murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her? Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone from finding out what Emma did, wasn't it? Oh yeah, wasn't she in contempt? How did she get back in here? I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't. Certainly would be difficult to prove this with evidence. If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. Certainly can't get the dead people to testify. Maya, jump in! Your turn! This has been a wild goose chase from the beginning. Touché, Miss Sky. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility. I mean, there's another possibility? What do you mean? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life. In one manner or another. That's impossible. Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist? Gotta think back to the court record. The real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind. Yeah, it's in the evidence. It's the name written on the thing. Blood on the vase, as Renji said. Message from the deceased. It's already in our possession. Mr. Wright, you stop at nothing to prove my sister is a murderer. Do not be mistaken, Miss Sky. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There is only one thing we seek. The truth. No matter how painful it may be. Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys the thing that you want. Take that! Message left by the deceased. This is that blue badger from before. Oh, is he going to just speak the killer's name? If that thing could, I'm sure it would. Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. A message was left here, on the surface of this jar. What do you mean? If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. It looks like someone wiped the blood away. Yes, but notice, for some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. Yes, there's a line drawn in blood. So what you're saying is that these dots were once lines? Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly and used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away. But blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions. Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will become apparent. No. Right? What kind of message did the victim leave? Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. Gotta connect these dots to make the letters. There's only one thing a victim would have written. His murderer's name. I can't spell Gant, can I? Oh, I can't connect that one. I guess I'm just connecting dots. Beep. 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 I'm just kidding. Take that! It's a defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Emma. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Of all people, she may not have meant it, but at the end the one who took the victim's life was Emma Sky. I hope she's still, like, passed out. But we want it to be Gant, right? Seaworthy? Can't say I didn't warn you. Chief Guns, do you understand the implication of what you've done? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in that case, were you not? Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction.
Objection!
But Joe Dirk really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable. I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know? We weren't defenders of justice. We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death. It's no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied. What's going on in the prosecutor's office? I mean, he sent an innocent man to death. How can he just stand there like it wasn't his fault? Order. I think they like push somebody out of the way, probably. There's not 2 people at the stand at the same time. The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. I know. It's heading to the next part of the game. Hopefully one of the last few parts, because, oof. Again, like, this is almost as long as the first part of the game. It's super duper long and pretty darn good. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Dark, happy hump day. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Detective, wait, what is it? Got a lot of nerve, pal. Making a detective run all around while on duty. And top it all off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Take it Lana's having you run errands again? I tell you, this is the last time, pal. Yeah. She asked me to give you this, so if there was a break in the trial. Evidence law. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? Seems so. You could at least study more evidence law, really. Pardon me. Chief Prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. Message? She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're gonna need this book. Guess I'll give this book a thorough read. Add it to my thing, so I can read it right now before I read anything else. Okay. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown with the approval of the police department. Rule 2, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Okay. Do you have a special sub sound for a year? I don't have any the tier 1 sub is its own thing. Prime sub is its own thing. Tier 2 and 3 are a little amped up, but they're the same together. There's no, like, reach 6 months, get something, reach a year, get something. That's a good idea. I might have to think of something. Like, happy birthday! Something like that. I don't know. We'll figure something out. I mean, year's coming up for me 2 months from now. Total. It doesn't look like this book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Eh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me? Yeah, Fantasia is... No, Fantasia's not 10 months. She's 10 months of following me. No, she'd be a year following me when we get to a year. She was one of the first followers I had. Team Exalta is the first and longest sub I ever had. They subbed the day I got my sub button. And that was... I got my sub button in July. Mr. Edgeworth, the real trial today hasn't begun yet. What else is there to do? Your credibility has been all but ruined with these forged evidence you're unaware of. And Sky's found out she's unwittingly caused a man's death. And now you tell me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, Detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into a dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're gonna expose him, no matter what it takes. These cases hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Oh yeah, Wit, don't forget, we have the, that notification number. Like, you could actually make that notification like a happy birthday. You could, like, have a happy birthday from some show or something. That's an idea. Or, like, a beginnings thing. The problem is I don't know what show or thing that could be for. Anyway, I tell you what, just have it to me by the time we have a year. Eh? Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. And if anybody else has any alerts that they have to get me, try and get it to me sooner rather than later. You don't know what the GIF that pops up? It doesn't have to be a GIF. It can be a video. We've done videos before for notifications. Yes, Sean. The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Normally, this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness. Is that a song, Brick? This isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have struck a bargain. Do you think I may have manipulated the witnesses? I didn't say that. Just, you see, everyone's been talking. Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. That being the case, prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. There's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement. A very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Oh, I haven't watched Fast and Furious. I have no idea. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well, the defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Settled. The defense may now call forth the witness. Mr. Wright, you do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. Defense calls Officer Meekins. Yeah. No.
Take that!
Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be here in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? All right. Good idea. I'm old. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, huh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine! My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Righto! What's with the grim face? First, let's clear this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Like what? Like the role you played in all this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Eh? Sure, take my testimony for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. I'm trying to remember what the risk was. Agent Nullick. Happy hump day. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Is that when Dark was arrested? Him? He was lying on the floor, unconscious. When Emma sent Neil filing, it seems Dark bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast.